Hey everybody, what is going on? Just making sure we are all set here. Hey everybody, what is happening? It is Rob from Crypto Bobby. Just wanted to pop in here briefly so that can have a little bit of conversation around what is going on in the world of crypto today. Hopefully you can hear me all right. It's kind of an impromptu, little bit of an impromptu crypto happy hour here, but wanted to pop in a little bit. About to, at some point in time, head out to dinner with the wife in the near future here. But wanted to talk a little bit about what's happened in the marketplace today. Obviously, for the most part, a pretty cool day in terms of crypto. For the most part, at least, if things can hold up like this, potentially this could be a little bit of a bull trap. Who knows if it is or not? But for the most part, things are looking nice. And everything is moving forward exactly how I'd like to see it. So we'll see how that all goes, how everything gets panned out, and how kind of things move forward here. But if you didn't get a chance to see the video this morning, or if you haven't had a chance to kind of check the marketplace, past couple days have been filled with news about China regulation, China exchanges. Yesterday, there was the big news about BTC China shutting down. That was followed today by news of Yunbi as well as Via BTC shutting down as well. And then from there, we heard some additional news about OKCoin and Huobi getting until October 31st to shut down their yuan to Bitcoin crypto trading and everything of that. So when people heard that OKCoin and Huobi were getting a longer time frame, that kind of spiked the market a little bit, as well as the fact that OKCoin and Huobi apparently are able to do crypto-to-crypto trading and not just not allowing Chinese fiat to crypto to Bitcoin, whatever it might be. So Dean mentioned bought back in 30 minutes for the finance test, which was a big rush after the test. That's legit. Great to hear there. And I mean, as far as things go for me, I had a couple different entry points. You can see at the arrow, my entry points back in were about 30.75, and then another entry point down here that's not shown because it was actually a market order. And then I also had another entry point down here that you can see as well at about 35. So I've had a couple different entry points at this point in time that have worked out for the most part, that I've been pretty excited about. We'll see how things continue to develop in the near future, but kind of my thought process there. If you guys have specific questions too, I mean, I'd be happy to take them, but just wanted to pop in, take some questions, get a feel for where all your heads are at and how you've been feeling today, or any questions that you might have, try and be of assistance, or shed some light on anything that might be happening for you, and get a good feel there. Wanzo mentioned he bought 10 Litecoin at $45. That looks like a great trade right now. I know Litecoin had a pretty big spike all the way down to, or a pretty big drop all the way down to sub $35. Now chilling above the $53, $54 range. So great trade there, great spot as far as that moving up for sure. So somebody mentioned, I heard pullbacks are usually 30%, but I think the pullbacks are going to be getting bigger than before. Do you think? I don't necessarily agree with that, Bullseye. I mean, I don't remember the exact percentage, but this was over a 30% pullback from the all-time highs. So, I mean, we're already seeing a 30% pullback. And as the market gets bigger, as more money gets into it, especially with Bitcoin at least, I think that in some cases, in some respects, the market movements might be a little bit smaller, actually, in my opinion. I mean, that just might be me, but I mean, as you're looking at certain things here, I mean, you're talking about billions and billions of dollars now, not just like a couple billion or 5 billion or 10 billion. So it might be, granted, this was a pretty big dip, this was a big movement, but I don't necessarily believe that the 30% corrections are now going to turn into 50, 70, 90% corrections or something like that. I think actually in some cases the corrections and the market movements, at least within Bitcoin, might get smaller in the future because the market is so large at this point. Somebody mentioned, did I invest in Black Moon? Yes, I did. So got in on Black Moon. And then somebody else mentioned, I have a lot in the Black Moon ICO. What's your strategy with BMC or new ICOs in general? So my most recent ICO participation was within Monetha. Right now, Monetha is trading at about 100%, around 100%. I'll pull up on Ether Delta here. I believe the ETH, at least from an ETH pairing, not necessarily a fiat pairing because the entire marketplace went down, so you can't necessarily do that comparison. But if we're looking at Monetha right now, it's actually trading a little bit below 100% profit. But it's still up like 80+% from an Ethereum basis. For me personally, what I'm doing when it comes down to ICOs, especially ones that have a lot of excitement behind it, I'm going to wait until this hits a larger exchange outside of Ether Delta. I think, whether it's Bittrex, whether it's Poloniex, whatever exchanges it might be, the second this hits a larger exchange, it's going to allow a lot more liquidity to get into the marketplace. And I think that's going to spike the price quite a bit. When that happens, I might take some profits, move that back into Bitcoin, move some of that back into Ethereum, and then leave the rest of my initial investments there for just to kind of ride the wave if Monetha does pull a similar price action to something like Omise Go, OMG, then I'm chilling in profits, and I also took some off the table to reduce risk. That's kind of my thought process. Now, to be honest, there's been some ICOs in the past where I've gotten pretty greedy, and I didn't take profits, and I should have. One, for an example, is Status, SNT. I participated in the ICO, put a decent amount of money into that ICO, and Status had an incredible run from like being, I think it was worth maybe like 2 cents all the way to being up worth like 8 cents, so like a 400% profit, and then it's down all the way back down to basically below that. I actually sold off, so I did it with Status. I did kind of like a tiered sell-off, but I kept some, and it just kept going down, and I really should have sold and accepted my profits, but I was kind of like emotionally tied to it in some senses because like, I participated in the ICO. I want to see this thing grow. It's really, really solid opportunity, but I felt like there was a certain point in time, and yesterday was actually when I took those losses. And I think it was also in some cases for tax purposes as well, just to take some short-term losses on the books for sure. Somebody mentioned, what am I drinking for happy hour? So right now it's kind of shitty. It's Fresca. It is what it is. No beers yet, but hopefully going out to dinner in the near future here. So hopefully get some wine or some whiskey at dinner. We'll see, depending upon where I go. So a couple people mentioned, there's definitely, and if you're asking for news, I think, quite frankly, one of the best places to get news real time is Twitter. You can take a look here at Coinigy. We'll pull this up. When this stuff happened, we'll take a look at the 1 hour charts. But when a lot of this stuff went down, it was very much news driven. What we got here? Oh, whoops, not the 1 minute charts, want the 1 hour charts. So right here, there was news about OKCoin, there was news about Huobi, and it just rocketed and rocketed. And these are all like based on tweets for the most part. A lot of times it's based on tweets. And the one thing that you want to be aware of is, while it's good to follow Twitter and I follow the exchanges on Twitter. If you want to just go, if you want, you can certainly go to my Twitter profile. And I believe all the people that I'm following are open. So if you want to go to my Twitter and hit up the people that I'm following, there's a number of different people in the space that are, influencers, work at exchanges, whatever, VC firms in the space, just people that I think add some value to me, what I'm trying to learn. Go into Twitter, follow them if you'd like, but just a grain of salt. Sometimes, like a lot of times, if you're like 5 minutes afterwards, it's too late because this market is moving. It's getting very efficient and it's moving very quickly. So that's kind of my thought process there is like, if you see a tweet like 15 minutes ago and you're like, oh, wow, this is like big news, you might be too late in some respects. So just take that into consideration. Give it a minute before you jump into something as well. Couple different people mentioning upcoming ICOs I will invest in. So a lot of them right now, or some of the ones that are interesting, are not allowing U.S. citizens in. So that doesn't bode well for me. Another one, so I participated in Monetha. That's the most recent one that actually is tradable cryptocurrency. Black Moon Coin is another one, BMC, that I recently got in on. And then Engine Coin is another one that I'm going to participate in as well. Outside of that, I don't necessarily have any others on the horizon. I get about 5 emails a day from different companies running ICOs, and I'll either respond to them, or a lot of times I won't because I don't have enough time, but it gives me a good idea of kind of what's out there, and a lot of them, quite frankly, are not great at this point in time. So I'm trying to kind of filter through the BS. If there is a good one, I'll make a video about it. If not, I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to waste my time, making a video about a crappy ICO or crappy crypto. Kevin mentioned, do I think the rebound went too straight up? I don't know if I think it went too straight up. I mean, this is a pretty strong move, about 25% since this morning, East Coast at about 8 a.m. So pretty solid move for sure. But with that being said, I mean, we're also talking about, if we zoom out these charts, I mean, we're talking about a pretty big correction. So, I mean, we're basically going back to maybe a day and a half ago. So it's a straight up movement, but it's also following a pretty big dip. So, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's an unsustainable rise. I guess we'll see how things shake out. But I am kind of curious if more negative news comes out of China, what that'll do, if that'll drop the price further. But as of now, for the most part, depending upon kind of what happens with OKCoin and Huobi, I think that it seems like we may be in a position where we can put all this China BS behind us and kind of move forward and move the market forward and maybe get back to where we were 2 weeks ago at the end of August. But that's kind of my thought process there. And guys, too, if you are new here, I do daily recorded videos. So I had a video earlier today where I talked about it was kind of back in this time period where things went up about 25% or so. But if you are new here, definitely hit that subscribe button. That'd be super awesome if you find this helpful. I try to be as helpful as possible. I try to be as level-headed as possible. I know this space and these swings are freaking nuts and crazy. And I try to be, like I said, as level-headed as I possibly can, and try to give you the news that might make sense and might help you make money, or just stay as educated as possible, because it's pretty hard to call things in this marketplace. Obviously, you can make guesses, you can make educated guesses, but I think also too this past day or so has been a really good lesson in terms of just general crypto fundamentals and trading fundamentals. And for me, buying down here at this green arrow was a big, that was just an order that was set down there, 30.75. Buying here on the bottom down here after 2 red candles and moving back up. Those are nice movements for me. And as of right now, I mean, I'm in the green on both, so we'll see. So Owen mentioned he's excited about being able to buy in at 3,100. And I think, yeah, that's obviously a great move right now. You're in really, really solid profits for sure. But with that being said, it goes to say too, set buy orders low, set them lower than where you're at right now, set them in a place, which is what I did yesterday. I had buy orders set at 30.75, like 2,900. And in case we got really crazy, like 2,700 or 2,500, I don't know if we're going to go back to that point in time, but we'll see. And as of now, guys, I just wanted to, really for the most part, just pop in, talk a little bit about what I thought and what I felt was going on. But I am actually about to head out for dinner now. So at this point in time, hopefully you guys have an awesome weekend. And if you do have any long-term questions, definitely let me know in the comments and I can incorporate them into any future videos. But right now, just want to pop in, say what's up. I hope you guys have a great Friday night or Friday, wherever you might be at. Thank you so much for your time. If you are new here, definitely hit that subscribe button. Rob from Crypto Bobby. Hope you have